Hi, this is the analysis of Nick 4 here. For this video, I'm just talking about why God of War is my favorite franchise, and we're talking about 7 games here, so from 2005 all the way to 2018. And yeah, so lots of games. Obviously, starting here like with God of War 1 to God of War 2, to you had multiple PSP games. This and this game are the same thing. This is just a 2-in-1. These are both 2-in-1. So it's God of War 1 and God of War 2 in one game. HD collection. Like, share, subscribe, guys. Share the video, and thank you guys for commenting. Now, overall, why I love the God of War franchise. It's a seven games, including the one that's gonna come out, be coming out soon, in a couple, in like a 6 weeks time. Why I love God of War, because God of War, I can't name one bad game out of the franchise. Or at least, like, at least in my opinion, there is no bad games here. You could argue the PSP games, because they're more limited, like in terms of their controls and graphics. They were a bit lower scored, a bit lesser, but still they were still good. They still hold up, and they're great quality PSP games. God of War Ascension, because of its story, was kind of a lackluster, but still the overall, it still held what kept a God of War 3 great. In terms of gameplay and the hack and slash nature. And these, keep in mind, these are all hack and slash games, so action adventure, linear games. Like, aside from God of War 4 and God of War 3, they're a bit more open, and there is more backtracking. And it really opened up backtracking. Backtracking is like when you had a certain point in the game, and you have to go back to a point that you were previously at, a location or whatever, and then you would backtrack to do puzzles. It's a lot of that. Backtrack to do puzzles, and before that, God of War 3 was the first God of War game I played. It had lots of puzzles in it. Puzzles, the a labyrinth, the chamber. You go into like this, I believe, kind of like this, a citadel. There's the piano puzzle. So lots of puzzles, and they're very unique. They really like, allow you to think. Now, for me, like, I'm not a big fan of puzzles in games. But like for God of War, well, unless the puzzles are done well, done really well. Some puzzles are really annoying. Some of the God of War games, they do struggle from those annoying puzzles. God of War 1, for example. Going into it more, the a core gameplay hack and slash, where it's mostly linear. You're going from point A to point B to point C to point D, mission to mission, and kind of area to area, and you're just finding a way through the enemy skeletons, mini bosses, these fighter classes, brutes, a massive, because it's so massive scale, like in the overall bosses. So you're just fighting through waves of enemies onto the next wave, and like, it actually mixes in puzzles with that. Why I love it as well. Oh my! Why I love it is because another reason is the bosses, especially God of War 3. God of War 3, you're battling, you're a demigod battling the Greek gods, so it can't get any a larger scale than that. It starts off with a Poseidon, you fighting Poseidon, and God of War 2 ended off with you fighting Zeus. Again, spoilers. And yeah, so that's the epicness of the bosses. You fought Balder in this one. You fought Kuranos, Titan, and it's such a large scale boss battles, and they're very memorable. They're some of the best boss battles in gaming, or at least boss battles that I have played over the years. So, and the boss battles implement everything from blocking, parrying, blocking, parrying. You gotta mix up the combos. You gotta use certain weapons to break through certain barriers. Yeah, and God of War 3, the end of it, spoilers, right? Spoilers. God of War 3, the end of it, you battle Zeus, which is so cool. In just the overall, it's kind of done like a Mortal Kombat fighting game type style, where it's no, it's a side view to the combat, so you see Kratos versus Zeus. Very cool, really, really, really cool. I just love that. So yeah, you have the boss battles, and the mini bosses as well. The mini bosses can be challenging, especially like you're playing the higher difficulty. Another reason why, because each game does obviously a whole lore like from a previous games. So spoilers: the end of God of War 1, he becomes a God of War, right? Which he takes on Ares' power, right? And then it's carried on right onto God of War 2, where you see him. No, it's probably like his most powerful version. He defeated Ares, he becomes a God of War. So yeah, the lore carries on obviously like from game to game. A God of War Ascension being like a prequel, so a God of War Ascension is technically God of War 1, story wise, in chronologically. In a God of War Ascension, it's like it becomes, it's kind of like a theme of revenge, but like he's trying to get revenge against Ares' minions, and it's before the whole Pandora box, a God of War 1 plot. War, another one too, God of War, Ghost of Sparta is about his past family, so at the family that Kratos had before. And he meets his brother, his mother, and yeah, there's that. So lots of lore between the games, and with it being ancient, obviously being based on ancient Greek myth, so there's lots of lore about Zeus, Poseidon, the main five gods. You see Prometheus, Ares, Athena. So there's lots of lore, and you actually physically get to see these gods, right? They're not hidden behind like a statue or like a certain prophecy. You actually see these gods, like in person. And you get to fight them. Another reason too why these games stand out a lot, because it's a lot about theory about revenge and vengeance, right? Like getting back at those that have wronged you. God of War 3 was so incredibly brutal, right? And Kratos was stabbed in the back, and he's trying to get back at these hierarchy, these the kings of the gods or whatever. He's trying to get back at Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, mainly Zeus. And God of War 2 used time travel as a way to get back at Zeus, and God of War 1 is basically the whole thing is you gotta get powerful enough to fight Ares, and Ares is the main reason why you are what you are. He kind of made you this crazy killer or whatever for no reason at all. But yeah, so a lot about vengeance. God of War 4 is a little different. It's more of like a genre by itself. It resembles closely more to Last of Us, where it's like a father and a son journey. Last of Us being like a kind of semi father and daughter, a relationship. God of War 4 was it's really about how can you get your son to be like a warrior or ready, and it talks a lot about destiny versus free will, like what are you destined to do versus what you choose to do. You know what I mean? God of War 4 was very very much about that, and prophecy. Kratos obviously doesn't really, because he was wronged in the past. He doesn't really believe in gods or whatever, or he doesn't really believe that gods are good. He believes that obviously they are flawed based on his previous experience. So yeah. So the themes of the game, they really allow you to think, and with him being another thing quickly, with him being outside of, so he's no longer in this one, he's in Norse mythology, so it's a whole different universe, a whole different world, more lore. And then Kratos is kind of like he's kind of a stranger to this new world. He doesn't know the language, he doesn't know the scripts, so he has to rely on his son, right? His son being raised by his mother. He has to rely on his son to translate a lot of his stuff, and his son is incredibly smart. Another reason why the franchise, again, the upgrade system, more so like in the early ones, it felt such like a natural progression, how you upgrade weapons, how you upgrade sub weapons, different classes of weapons, and magic abilities. You can upgrade the magic meter, and some of the upgrading involves obviously going onto the side path, and you gotta look for these artifacts. The artifacts is gonna give you more health, more magic, rage abilities. Yeah, so going out exploring the world as you're going through this linear journey. Yeah, so you have upgrades, and New Game Plus as well. New Game Plus is what really stands out. you don't really see New Game Plus as often. Sony exclusives have these a lot, but New Game Plus is obviously you start a new game, but you get to start everything over. No, you start over with everything you have unlocked. God of War 3, was a great example. You'd start off with the Nemean Cestus, those huge fists, the electric blades, the soul blades, right? And a full rage meter. And replaying the game on hard mode, like it's always very fun. God of War 1, no, I don't remember if the early ones had it. But I know God of War 3, Ascension, and God of War 4 had them. But New Game Plus is very fun, but God of War 3 very much so in on the New Game Plus you'd have to find artifacts and to make it and to give you New Game Plus bonuses, so infinite magic, twice as much damage, 4 times as much damage, right? So yeah, exploring for a New Game Plus bonuses. God of War 4, same thing. The more upgrades you got, and you each get armor sets, and then every armor set has its own stat, a stat bonus, and whether it be health, strength, runic abilities, and all that. So yeah, you have again 7 games here, and with the 8th game coming out, I can't wait for that game. It's probably my most anticipated game of all time. Especially after loving God of War 4 so much, God of War 4 being my favorite, right, in the series. So yeah, with the newest one coming out, the 8th game coming out, I can't wait for that. And quickly, another point too, I forgot to mention before, is that with a lot of the God of War games, they maintain the quality, right? So they really are maintaining the quality. There's no disappointing or bad entry like in the series. Aside from probably the again, like I said, the PSP games kind of, again, like, because of their controls, but yeah, again, they maintain the quality really well from God of War 1 all the way up to God of War 2018. So that's it. Please like, share, subscribe. Why I love the God of War franchise, and it's my favorite franchise, right? And a gameplay is going to be added. So thanks for watching.